Welcome to this edition of Reliability News, a Watkins Glen's journey. Today we'll talk about asset health achievement, backlog improvement, and PM optimization. This journey began with baby steps.
Baby steps? It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
Yep, baby steps. We have only just started climbing the mountain, but our goal is to reach the top. Let's start by talking about asset health. But what is asset health? Well, asset health is a metric that aims to measure how healthy assets are in an organization. Basically, we define an unhealthy or red asset as any asset with open repair orders, follow-ups, or overdue PMs. Then, the percentage of healthy assets is calculated based on the total assets. The world-class benchmarking for this metric is 90%. Now, Alan, tell us how is asset health trending at Watkins Glen?
Well, thank you for the handoff, Israel. Again, we're going to look at the baby steps or the 5-year journey of our before, where we started with asset health. So looking at this chart that you see before us is our before. Back in December of 2019, you can see our asset health, the black line was at 57.2. And we have the goal was the green line, which was back then was 68. So over the year and a half to 2 years of data that we have peaks and valleys. Some of those peaks and valleys are, remember our site has 4 boil outs per year. So when you have a boil out, you get a surge of repair follow-ups, and some of your overdue PMs will then purge into that peak, and then they'll valley out after that. It takes about 2 weeks for that boil out work orders to go through. So now when you see our future state, we have a really nice graph. Every year the business unit of SALT raises our asset health goal. So now our asset health goal is at 71%. And you can see back in the November of 2020, the black line dip all the way down to 55.7. So what happened back then? Well, unfortunately, COVID hit Watkins Glen in our maintenance department, and we had, out of our 15 mechanics, we had 10 in quarantine. So that allowed our craft availability to reduce to only 5 mechanics. So our asset health suffered from that, and a lot of that was because of our PDM rounds weren't being able to be completed. And you can see that the overdue PMs went all the way up to 160. But once all the team came back, everyone was healthy. You can see we got right out of that, and now we have a wonderful chart here showing that we are sustaining above our goal of 71%, and we're right on track with our overdue PMs down to 19. So this is a great celebration for the asset owners, all the operators, and maintenance working together to create a healthier cost center of all the assets.
Thank you all. Now, let's talk about backlog. But what is backlog? Well, the easiest way to visualize backlog is comparing the work management process with this funnel, where the raindrops represent maintenance requests. They can be repairs orders, PMs, PDMs, follow-ups, or other requests. The water on the top of the funnel represents the planning backlog. It means orders waiting to be planned. Then we find ready backlog, or orders waiting to be scheduled. From there, the flow goes into the schedule bucket to finally be executed. Our backlog target is 3 to 4 weeks. Al, how is Watkins Glen managing backlog?
So we started our backlog trends back in January of 2020. And one of the things that we had to really work on was how do we get our customers, or the operations, our customer, our internal customer, they put a work order in, and then it takes anywhere from 8 weeks to get to that work order. And you had a lot of unhappy people. Same with the mechanics as well. They would do a PM, they would put a follow-up work order in, and it would take 2 months, and then they'd be identifying the same things that they identified last month on PM, and we just couldn't get to those work orders. So our teams got together, we figured out a plan, how do we go after this and how to reduce our backlog. So you can see the great work that we've been able to do. You'll notice the green and you'll notice the red. So the business unit gives us these parameters of best practices to be between 4 to 6 weeks of your backlog. Now here at Watkins, I just explained to you that 6 weeks and above takes a long time for scheduling and the cycle for us to get to our work orders. So it's really, we have found using data to see that our best way to do a follow-up and get the repairs and to keep our overdue PMs in that perfect cadence is just to hit that 3.8 to about 4.2 weeks. So we want to be hugging this green line. So you can see our current state here in February. This beautiful chart now where our backlog for electrical and mechanical work is below the green line. And that's when that's why our asset health is doing so well. These two graphs together with asset health and backlog, they run in parallel, and you can see the peaks and valleys from boil outs 4 times a year. You'll see them up and down, they'll raise, but you'll see your asset health and your machines running better and having better health if you're getting to your follow-ups, to your repairs, and not having overdue PMs. So the one thing that you do notice is since December to current, we're below that green line. And what do you think caused that? Well, that is our next topic we're going to talk about is PM optimization. PM optimization is a strategy to understand what all the PMs on a particular site and what strategies are we using to making sure that we're doing the PMs at the right frequency. We're looking to make sure that we're not wasting any time of non-value added steps in that PM. We're looking to correct the PM bundling. So if we're working on different types of equipment that are like equipment in that same area, can we bundle those PMs together so that we can use the mechanics time efficiently? And then we're also looking at logistics. Instead of having the mechanic run all over the plant, can the mechanics stay in that one area so they reduce their steps and the equipment they're using so they can focus logistically in the same kind of area and get more work done and more efficiently for the time that they are allotted. So PM optimization is kind of like all of that. And we have this chart here shows our journey. We started back in February of 2020. We started looking at PMs and we started looking at how do we go ahead in each cost center and address them. So we had 2 different types of PM optimization. We also do this thing called black asset optimization and PM optimization. They're kind of the same thing, but focused on the critical assets. And to date, February, we have a cumulative savings of 3,598 hours of craft time. So, that's really exciting. And that's why we're able to, on that chart for the asset health, to see that below the 4-week line. PM optimization savings helps us also look at autonomous maintenance or operator asset care. That's another type of savings that we can take, where we look at operations. We're looking at cost centers, blocks, pellets, Slidell, and we're looking at those types of assets, and we're looking to see how do we have operations help do some of these tasks, these PM tasks that they can do, like changing filters or greasing or lubing or doing certain checks and visual checks and inspections. That all helps also with creating, shifting the work from maintenance to autonomous maintenance. And we'll be kicking those autonomous maintenance will be kicking off in June. We're in 2021, and we're pretty excited about that. Working with Greg Clark and Sean McCormick, and we'll be getting more information out to the operations team and to the site how we're going to do that. So that total maintenance labor that we have saved, now what do we do with that? Well, now we want our mechanics to have more training opportunities. And so we have a program called TPC, which is Total Production Training. And what they do there is they take these learning modules and they increase their skills in electrical, mechanical. They can take some welding, some of these other type of trainings that they're doing. We also have predictive maintenance. So currently on the site, we have oil analysis, we have vibration, we have E, we have IR. And those are all strategies that we can increase our level of expertise, so our mechanics take more training and be able to do more predictive strategies to help us get to those machines before they have catastrophic failure. And then the next strategy that we're looking at is how to reduce contractor spend on the site. So we have a lot of contractors here. Can our mechanics pick up that contractor work, and we do it in-house, and we develop our own expertise. We increase our knowledge of the lines and the things that we're installing, and we have more ownership with that. And then the last strategy we're really looking to move into, when we're kicking that off this month, is called CALL. CALL stands for contamination, alignment, lubrication, and looseness. So we're going to be dedicating 2 mechanics in our shop to be able to focus on those strategies to help our equipment increase their asset health and to have a safer and a better efficient equipment for us. So again, these are all baby steps. It's a 5-year journey, and that's what we're going to be doing here in the next few years, working on all these different strategies. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Watkins Glen team.